right, it's Friday, so let's have some fun with this show. We don't have Name That Saint, but we do bring in Heads Up Saints Edition. We have too much fun, to be honest with you, in this episode at the end, but we also get into some OTA topics and also who the Saints have let go, who they've brought in, the analytics department, and we even get into a little bit of Saints Hall of Fame inductions. It's a pretty good show today.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what they do with their analytics department. It's kind of a blank slate now, and that's something where I think the team needs a lot of help. So we're going to break down how that might change moving forward. And one thing that shouldn't change is your daily morning routine of stopping by PJ's and starting your day with one of their cups of coffee. They got pastries. They got everything else you need. Locations all over the city. So make sure you go and check them out. And if you need legal help with any of the following: car wrecks, offshore injuries, 18-wheeler collisions, Maritime Jones Act, hurricane and storm claims, you better call BETTER at 504-323-7777 or 985-303-7777 for your free consultation and case review. BETTERLaw.com. And check out Hardhide Ponchatoula Strawberry Whiskey. That is an 86 proof blend of aged wheat bourbon, American light whiskey, and fresh Ponchatoula strawberries. It is not for the thin skin. Look for it in your favorite stores, bars, and restaurants. And while you're out and about, stop by Ideal Market. They have some of the best food in the whole entire city. Hot plates that surpass many restaurants in the city, and the largest variety of Hispanic and international foods you will find in the state. Also, they have the best place to cash checks, wire money, and pay bills. So check out their customer service center, which is unlike any other. And while you're out and about, stop by Firehouse Subs, Veteran Boulevard location. Great people doing great stuff in the community, so support them. All right, let's get into the show.
Big week for the Saints Hall of Fame. A new member has been inducted. Jabari Greer, cornerback for the Saints. Big week for him. What did you guys think about the selection?
Well, I'll pass the mic because I'm not allowed to vote on the Hall of Fame.
No
the
pressure.
wheels move slowly when it comes to Hall of Fame induction and Hall of Fame selector induction. But yeah, I've been around long enough.
You are old.
I'm old. That's what it represents. Maybe one day I'll get into a Hall of Fame. Look, Jabari Greer. Jabari Greer was not an obvious case because he wasn't ever a Pro Bowler. He wasn't, he doesn't hold, certain Saints records. But I'm glad he got in because I think he was so important to really the best era in Saints history. He arrived in 2009, and I don't think it's overstating things to say, Darren Sharper had an incredible year that year, but I think Jabari Greer was even more important because a number one corner, especially for that Greg Williams defense, where he wanted to be able to trust his corners and be able to tee off on quarterbacks. He had, there were all these, I remember back then talking to all these analytics people, Bill Barnwell from Football Outsiders and stuff. Pretty much universally, they all had him rated as the second best corner in the league that year behind Darrelle Revis. But then he did it again in 2011. He did it again in 2013, which were also, historic seasons for the Saints. So I'm really glad to see him in. He had to wait a few extra years, but I think it's well-deserved.
I don't want to, whoa. We got to roll this back for a second. Bill Barnwell said something positive about the Saints.
It was a long time ago. You know what I remember about that conversation? He was explaining his analytics to me, and he said, so, you never know the person's coverage assignment. So a lot of these stats are based on the area they were thrown to. And golly, I wish I could remember because you just put me on the spot. But they had a defensive back who was struggling one year, and he said that the quarterback throwing to an uncovered receiver had a lower success rate than the quarterback throwing to this particular Saints defensive back.
But look, yeah, I agree. Look, I think if we made the short list of who the best cornerbacks in team history are, I probably go Marshawn 1 and Jabari 2.
Yeah,
I don't even know where you go after that. I mean, those guys just really set a whole new standard. They ended a search that they had for a long time. And I think Jabari was a big part of kind of changing the culture a little bit. So for sure, definitely deserving, somebody that should have got in. And I don't know. I'm assuming the conversation was easy, but I'm not privy to how it went.
Well, you guys talk about the requirements of how long does the player need to be out. Why haven't things changed for maybe a Drew Brees? Was there not an incentive to
Look, we
fast track that
to let you in on the process.
All right.
There was more discussion on Drew Brees than there was on Jabari Greer, and I was one of the people that was like, well, look, there is a reason why there is a 3-year waiting period, and frankly, if there was ever anyone who might unretire within 3 years, I think it's Drew Brees. They actually talked to him about, if they had done it the year he retired, and he could have come back and played, but that wouldn't have mattered either. They could have said a current Hall of Famer coming back to play, whatever. But it's fine to have the 3-year period, because if you don't, then somebody like Jabari Greer waits another year. So it all works out in the end.
Interesting. Well, not the only move happening. Somebody moved into the Saints Hall of Fame, and then somebody moved out of the Saints analytics department. Do you make anything of that?
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I mean, well, look, first, Ryan Herman, his family lives in Miami. He was like commuting to New Orleans. So I think that was a big factor in him allowing his contract to kind of expire a little bit. But I think they got a lot of work to do in this area. I don't think when he first came in, there were things they were doing. They were at the forefront of some of these testing that people do for draft, with just trying to figure out how people think. So the Saints in some respects have been like ahead of the curve, but in most respects in analytics, they're way behind the curve, and they haven't made the same investment as other people. And it was kind of funny because like Sean Payton made a comment about like how they're light years ahead in Denver. And it's like, well, Sean, you are the architect of your analytics department in New Orleans, and it worked how you wanted it to work, and you kept everybody at 2 arms lengths away from stuff. So I think it's just something that they probably need to reconfigure at some point. I think Dennis Allen's probably more open to some of the different ways of thinking and all that. So I assume that's going to get better for them. But yeah, I think that they're probably way behind. And I don't know this, but like if I were Ryan Herman, there were probably times that I would have been extremely frustrated that it felt like maybe, the team I was working for with Sean Payton at the helm wasn't necessarily as forward thinking as other teams.
Yeah, that was such a ridiculous comment.
It was
by
a
Payton.
dig on himself.
It was like, it's like you could have, I covered this team for a long time. I seemed to get the impression that Payton had some pull around here. If he wanted a different analytics department, he could have. I'm sure he was just trying to compliment the analytics department. He'll probably overrule everybody they have in that room at some point or another. But yeah, look, Ryan, like everything I was able to gather, cordial, amiable, everything like that. I think they appreciated what Ryan Herman did. And he took them from a place they had never been before to, a new level. The whole league has brought analytics into it more. But now they're going through a hiring process. And I think that will allow them to sit down and have conversations and rethink the whole process, maybe from the ground up, whereas maybe they, weren't thinking as radically. It could end up being a good thing.
I can't wait to see the comment section, too. You guys are bringing up Sean Payton again. He did it to himself. We had to bring it up. He talked about it. Since we're on the topic of who's moving in, who's moving out, the Saints did cut a kicker. So now that room is down to 2, Will Lutz and Blake Grupe. Do we see that room maybe becoming 1 by the end of August? Oh,
for sure. I think at some point, and one way or another, whether someone's cut or someone, has just the mysterious injury that nobody ever sees happen, that's definitely a possibility too. The hype around Grupe's real, though. Like, we've been saying it for a while now. People say he's got a huge leg. He's been pretty consistent in practices. Getting one guy out is definitely something that makes sense now that they've moved on to just the 2. So
that was the easiest cut prediction on the entire 90-man roster. Is why did I've never seen 3 kickers on a team before, and you've got one, Will Lutz, who I do want to bet on, not just because he's a friend of the show. Not just because he took us out there on the practice field, but I like track record in a kicker who's proven they can overcome adversity again. So I want to bet on Will Lutz, but I also agree with the hype we're hearing about Grupe. Great problem to have, and like there are some training camps where we move around and find the position where we can actually tell if the kicks are good or not. And there's some training camps where we like catch up on editing our photos on our phone during the kicking portion. This will be one of those all eyes on the kickers in every training camp practice summers.
Yeah, a good problem to have and something the Saints haven't had is depth at kicker. Usually you don't in the NFL. You usually have your one guy, but given how the things have gone in the last few years, I wouldn't be surprised if they keep 2 around and kind of give a trial period.
The Blake Gilligan red shirt season.
Yes. Give a little bit of a trial period to Will Lutz. But, from our interview with him, he sounds hungry and ready to prove that he still has a lot of time left in the NFL and can get back to the dominant kicker that he was. And didn't you mention too at one point he was the highest paid kicker in the league?
Briefly, yeah. I don't think it lasted that whole offseason, but he earned it at the time. And he was a Pro Bowler too, and he earned that too.
Possibility. And they also added depth at tight end, adding Jesse James, who only played 2 games last year. and was placed on IR. One of the only things that I saw, and I might not be giving the guy enough credit, is he's a true blocking tight end, and we know that that's something the Saints want to bring in. Is that kind of how you see this playing out?
Yeah, that's fair. And he's tall too. I kind of like the Saints approach of like, we're going to bring in every wide receiver and tight end that we can find and just see who works out. Like just shoot volume and see what works. They definitely need help at that position though. They need more inline stuff. And look, you're putting a lot on Foster Moreau, who is coming back from a cancer diagnosis. And maybe that goes perfectly great, but I think it's smart to just keep looking at that position and make sure that you're doing everything you can to make sure that you have safety valves in place.
Yeah, after the draft, when they didn't draft a tight end and they traded away Adam Troutman, the first thing I did was look at the list of available tight ends, reach out to some agents. Jesse James was in that. Foster Moreau was the one, we said it the very next day. Well, this obviously means the Foster Moreau deal that we've been talking about is going to happen, and it did. But Jesse James was in the, there was like probably 2 tiers, but he was in the top 6 or 7 of experienced real NFL tight ends, and they needed, so now they have what seems like an abundance. There won't be room for all of them, but Lucas Kroll, who we were like, is he the number 2 tight end on the team? Now he's going to have to fight to earn his position on the team, but after watching 2 OTAs, it looks like he's ready to try and earn it, but now he actually has people he has to surpass to earn it.
Going back to defense, I think one of the things that we noticed in training camp is if we're not talking about a guy, it's not that he's necessarily having a bad camp or that it's the opposite. He's probably just fulfilling his job. And I think Pete Werner has fallen into that category of, well, we don't need to watch him anymore because we know what he's capable of. And he's still young. And the fact that he's already in that category of like, nope, solid linebacker, don't even need to worry about him. He's going to start. He's going to be great. Are we not giving this guy enough credit?
Yeah, I have. So that was one of the things, one of my takeaways from this last practice is we've talked so much about Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed and Alontae Taylor as the guys generating a lot of buzz, the guys whose arrow is pointing up. And I guess since Pete Werner's in year 3 and since he started to do that last year, we've kind of moved past him. But, we're going to do a thing later this summer where we rank the current roster. And Pete Werner is one of the absolute reasons to be really excited about this team. He really tailed off after his injury last year. But if he hits the ground running and looks even better than he did at the beginning of last year, Demario Davis was saying these things the other day, and it really opened my eyes. Like, Demario Davis doesn't give praise away for free, and he was speaking really highly of him. And it's just a reminder that is one of the real reasons for optimism on this team.
I don't know about giving credit to Pete Werner. I don't know where you guys have been.
No.
That's Nick's boy, but no, he has kind of created that staple for himself. And it is true. Unless you ask Demario Davis about a specific player, he's not going to just bring somebody up. No, I think that speaks volumes.
Yeah, look, I think Pete Werner is someone that's like definitely Pro Bowl potential type player. Yep. His range is crazy. He keeps getting better. I think there's some things with consistency. Last year, I think later in the season, he tailed off a little bit. There was some stuff going on with the injuries and all that too. But I think he's been solid since day one. And I was comfortable with them letting Quan go. I thought they should have let Quan go that first year. Like I thought they were holding Pete back by having Quan on the field. And he's proven it. I think he's solidified that position. He's better. He's just got to stay healthy. I mean, that's really all it is. If he has a fully healthy season, I think he could absolutely be in that Pro Bowl discussion.
I do want to give full confirmation. Nick was ahead of the Pete Werner curve, and maybe 13 years from now, he'll be electing him into the Saints Hall.
Yeah, we're behind the wave on Pete Werner. But no, injuries did. I mean, we talked about Rashid Shaheed working off to the side. Pete Werner was working off to the side last year in training camp, and it seemed like he never was able. I mean, it's the NFL, so are you ever really playing at 100% healthy? If you are, that's really awesome for you, but most of these guys are dealing with nicks and bruises each week. And for Werner, he was dealing with some pretty serious injuries that it seemed like he never really got healthy or comfortable with those injuries. He ended up playing through them, and maybe that's where that fatigue came in at the end of the season. I'd be actually interested in talking to him about that and what kind of goes through the NFL athlete mindset of, all right, I have a job that I want to keep. And we saw what Caden Ellis did last year, and Pete was still able to come back from injury and prove that he deserved the job. I think that speaks volumes to what he's able to do. As we get into training camp, again, I like jabbing at Nick on this. His favorite topic is heat and humidity on day one.
Huh? Yeah. Hot one today.
So I saw something circulating, which is kind of crazy.
Literally circulating.
I know. So there are air-conditioned helmets now. How about that? And so Tiger Air, and I think it's from what I've seen and just the basic research that I've done, is this company, Tiger Air, they're the only ones doing this. They created, and it has to have passed whatever the NCAA rule is for a helmet, because they still have to go through all those checks and things like that. Tiger Air is a 5-hour air-conditioned helmet. It lasts you for 4 years. And from what I understand, the helmet you can move where the air comes in. Is that something we're going to see at the NFL level with how many indoor games?
Does it work?
So there was a video, the LSU players put it on, and they just could not believe. I don't know if the Saints will wear this, if they do get them, if they will wear them during the season, because a lot of their games are inside, and I think that's a little
much. Here's my first concern.
Yes,
So,
let's hear it.
first of all, they must have taken the chips away from like whatever car. Like we bought a car a year and a half ago, and they said we're waiting on the chips. I'm supposed to have that in my seats, and they've never called and said those chips are in. Now I see where they've gone. But the problem is, if I'm ever if I'm ever in one of those cars that does that, when it's hot and sweaty, I don't love the air conditioning blast when I'm, it's like going into the cold restaurant when it's hot outside and they're blasting the air conditioning. I don't know. I think I'm anti-air conditioned helmet. Let's
really?
You're easing into the AC.
Whoa.
Like I want to walk in and just like feel I want it to be like a sheath of like cold air.
I don't want instant. Even our workroom in Saints camp, I have to bring a hooded sweatshirt and then
you do like wrap up in like an Afghan.
I do.
Yeah.
Like,
but I wouldn't mind
I don't go
having
from
that
the hot
AC
tub to the cold
outside.
tub.
But like having it outside, come on.
I would wear the helmet on the sideline.
I'm just disappointed that I saw this on the rundown when Brooke was going to bring this up. I thought for sure she would have one. I thought she had that kind of pull. Thought she'd have one and be wearing it.
I went to like Bed Bath & Beyond and like tried to get like one of those like fans that you put around your neck and it blows it. Like it didn't do anything. So like I'm kind of worried that the helmet is similar to that. Like you can feel it, and then it's like when you're in like 99 degrees though, like the fan doesn't exist anymore.
You know what though? Tulane sideline reporter Maddie Hudak, she has nailed it down. I don't remember what it's called, or obviously this isn't like a free promo to these things, but she has one of those air fans, and Tulane players I now have seen have them on it.
I don't think that works.
They have to work.
I don't know.
And to quote Chris Franklin, just in case anybody's wondering what the weather is going to be like,
yes,
it's going to be hot. It's going to be hot and humid. But I asked Chris, I was like, can you just give us like a breakdown? Because they have these future models for weather. This is WWL's chief meteorologist,
I have
Chris
my
Franklin.
own model if you want to see it.
You know what he said? How rude is it?
I'm pretty confident in what it's going to be like.
Do you want to know what he said? When I asked him on a serious note, like, what are the future models for end of July, early August? Like, what do we need to expect? Is it going to be any different? He goes, how do the words heat stroke grab you?
Okay, that's fair. Yeah.
It's fair enough.
Great.
There you go. So
hot out there, huh?
Bring the air-conditioned helmets back in or not back in, introduce them. I think, I don't know.
Nick,
what would a Saints
time.
player say about that? Like putting on an air-conditioned helmet?
Oh, I think they'd be happy with it. They love their little trailer that they have back there where it's like
The
30
ice
degrees
box?
or whatever. Yeah, I think they would love it.
Nick, I think you have time. I'm expecting a NewOrleans.Football branded fan giveaway, something for those fans in the bleachers that will cool them off with the NOF logo on it. I'm putting you on the case.
All right, go ahead and you finance that. And let me know how it goes. I'll hand them out.
All right, so guys, we introduced Name That Saint.
Oh,
yeah, oh yes. The
It's
triplet
game time.
family is ready to bring in another game. Let's go ahead
I've got
and
it under the chair.
introduce it. Here it comes.
All right, this is Saints Heads Up.
There we go.
Speaking of NewOrleans.Football branding, I don't know who's familiar with the game Heads Up, but this is going to be rapid fire. We don't know how this is going to go. We didn't test run this. You've got 1 minute. I'm going to hold them up for Nick. We're going to rotate, have a different partner, see how many you can correctly guess in 1 minute. Now, we need to set the rules right here live on the air. I say we can't say their number. Can't say number nine. What about position? Can we say position?
Yeah, you got to be able to
Okay.
say position.
All right. So
You can say what year they played, right, too? Things like that?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Hey, we're trying to get volume. Maybe we'll get 12 in a minute or whatever.
Okay.
All right, Brooke, I'm going to give you the official timekeeper while I go with Nick. Now, some of these, I put in some Easter eggs here for some of those obscure. We had our favorite.
Is Ted Ginn?
Our favorite. Ted Ginn is in this stack. But, there's going to be a 2014 camp sensation or two. But for the most part, we've got Hall of Famers, Ring of Honor members, current players. But you're always allowed to pass.
Mm-hmm.
You just pass. Just pass.
Yep.
So
Put
you
in
hold
the
it. I try to get you to guess the guy.
You got to get me
Yep.
to say the
Okay,
guy. All right,
gotcha.
1 minute. Tell
can
me
do
when
that.
time's up, bro.
All right.
All right, Nick, here we go.
In 3, 2, go.
22-yard catch every game.
Kenny Stills.
Just one.
Joe Morgan.
One play and done.
One play and done. All right, I need more clues.
Shantavius' best friend.
Brandon Coleman.
Yeah.
Got it.
Oh, The Onion. Manitoba Mauler.
Oh,
The Canadian sensation.
Put it on
David
your forehead
Onyemata.
so they
Yeah.
can see it. There
Oh,
we go.
sorry.
Yes. So we cut to Mike's. There we go. You can see it now.
The king of the screen game.
25 seconds left.
CJ Spiller, Darius Cardette,
Uh,
Pierre Thomas.
yes.
20 seconds left.
Oh, the pastor.
Passer?
Author.
Passer, author.
10
Pastor.
seconds.
Author.
Pastor, author.
Yeah.
Eight.
Oh.
Tight end.
7,
Ben
6,
Watson.
Yeah.
5,
Oh, God.
4, 3, 2, 1, and.
We were surprisingly terrible at that.
Yeah.
All right, wait till I give you clues.
Okay,
It's
how
gonna
many
be way
did we
better.
get? Let's count it
All right.
up.
Well, I mean, that's because
4.
All
4.
right.
Okay.
4. All
they were
right.
good clues. They were good clues.
All right. I will take this from you.
Well, how about you guys flip?
All right. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
All right. This is gonna be. We're going
You
double
can see we
digits. We're
really
going double
planned this
digits.
out. We're
Yeah,
doing a
here we
great
go.
job here. Okay.
I wrote
Oh,
all
wait,
the
wait,
cards.
wait.
Oh.
Okay, just go ahead. You already put it up.
All right. He's the backup guard center, undrafted guy right
Calvin
now.
Throckmorton.
Yes.
Boom.
Former punter. Dolphins. Jets.
Thomas Morstead.
Yes.
Boom. Like you
Current
flinging
guard.
it.
Former *1 pick.
Current guard. Caesar Ruiz.
Yeah.
on
Could have
the
been Andrew
money.
Speed too. That's true.
Oh.
Number 9.
Breeze.
Oh, I shouldn't have
Okay,
said number 9.
that should. Okay, whatever.
That
We'll
was
count
my
it. We'll
example
count it.
before. Current every year Pro Bowl running back.
30
Alvin.
seconds
Yeah.
left.
Oh, Camp Darling probably made the roster and got cut like 70 times during our first few
Andy
years on the
Tanner.
beat together. Rashid Shaheed before Rashid Shaheed.
Joe Morgan.
No, just
3,
went to the
Deontay
Bills.
Hardy.
Yeah.
1, done.
Oh, man. How many we get? 1, 2, 3, 4,
Here you
5,
go, Mike.
6. All right,
All
we
right.
got 7.
Or whoever
All right.
wants to go.
All right.
All right, Nick, don't let me down now.
Oh, I got to do the timer?
I've got the timer.
Oh, okay. All right. So I give you clues. All right. I'm with it.
Okay, before, disclaimer, I started covering the team in 2019. I will do my best.
You're allowed to pass. You're
I'm
allowed to pass.
Can you see it?
Yeah. Are we
Go.
ready to go?
Yeah.
Yep.
Safety, Philadelphia.
Malcolm Jenkins.
Yep. Linebacker now with the Falcons.
Kay Nellis.
Yep.
Look at this.
Star defensive end. Most famous player on the
Cam
team.
Jordan.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Young player, went to the same college as Marcus Colston, or had the same OC as Marcus Colston. Wide receiver.
Yep. No, I have it right on the tip of my tongue. 6th-round pick. What the heck is his name? A.T. Perry.
Yep. Catch him on the cell phone. Scored a touchdown, picked up a cell phone.
Oh, I know who that is, but I think it's to
Pass.
pass.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I should have known that.
Wide receiver, played the slot, curly hair, was on the team 2016, 17.
Wide receiver with curly hair.
Yeah. Short guy. Almost hit 1,000 yards.
Pass.
All right. You're down to your last one.
Running back, was with
3,
the team last year. Everybody was
2.
mad when he got let go.
I missed it. This is my buddy, Latavius. If you're watching this, I'm sorry.
So
He
what'd you
was
get?
one of my media favorites. You should have said J.C. Horn. I would have at least remembered that.
Lily
Carolina.
Snead was,
Oh, yeah,
Lily
yeah.
Snead was
All you
the,
had to say was because I wouldn't have remembered Joe Horn's
all right,
like playing
all right,
days.
I got
I
you.
was
but-
worried.
I
You
got
got,
you.
you got like 4 in the first 30 seconds, and
I
then
thought
you
she was going to
stalled.
kill it. Yeah.
How many
All
did I
right,
get?
4.
That's
4.
it. Oh,
All right.
y'all,
What do
it
we
makes me
think? Time
sad.
for one more? Time for one more? Or no?
Yes.
Is that
Do
it?
it. We can do it again.
All right. Brooke's going to give clues to.
Oh, good luck.
All right.
All right.
Are we
All right,
ready?
I'm going back on the timer.
Or should we do half and half?
No.
We'll
here
split
we go.
it up.
Here we
Okay.
go. Go.
Fullback.
Adam Prentice.
Standout wide receiver this year. Number 2 receiver.
Rashid Shaheed.
Number 1 receiver.
Olave.
First round draft pick. Or I'm sorry, 2nd round draft pick.
This year?
Yep.
Oh, God. Why am I having brain fart?
Defensive line.
Oh, Foskey.
Cornerback fighting for his job, not the confident one.
Adebo.
You might be confident. Keep going. You
Cam
have 25
Jordan's
seconds.
favorite DN that's not on the team.
Davenport.
Nope.
Uh,
He wasn't the best in interviews, but he was a really good player on the field. He is not with the team anymore. He's with the Bengals.
oh my God. The white dude that wears the silver shades. Why can't I think of his name? I'm so on the spot.
Starts
5
with a T,
seconds.
starts with a T.
5 seconds. You're going to have to pass. Get another card up.
Why couldn't I think of his name?
A defensive end that's not on the team.
Davenport.
Yes.
All right. Time.
Oh my God. Why couldn't I get Trey Hendrickson?
Oh, the brain blips. They get you
Oh.
every time. All right. We have the stack.
Okay.
We'll perfect
3,
this game.
4, 5. I got 6.
I think we have time for one more.
All right. We have time
Okay.
for one more. All right. I
Who's
need to
up?
get back
Back
in
to you.
somehow. What am I doing?
What do you pick?
I will give you clues.
Oh gosh.
And I'll pass if I have to pass.
Okay.
I think I know your knowledge base.
Okay. I got lucky on that stack.
All right.
Okay, you ready?
Yes.
And
All right.
count me in.
Go.
The rookie 5th round safety this year.
Jordan Houghton.
The new defensive back they signed in free agency this year, former Dolphins Chargers, I think.
I don't
Has
think I'll
a
get it.
dad with the same name.
I wouldn't have got it.
Safety makes the Pro Bowl for special teams reasons on the current roster.
Oh, JT Gray?
Yep. Former safety signed with the Baltimore Ravens. Famous from the...
Marcus Williams?
Yep. Didn't even have to mention his lowest moment.
Oh my.
Another former safety plays for the Lions now and the Eagles last year after getting traded away.
Oh, CJ Gardner-Johnson.
Yeah. All right. Current nickelback. Veteran. Veteran, former Bronco.
Yep. I'll always forget his name and I feel so bad.
All right.
It's how what does the name start with?
I'm not telling you
Oh, you
that.
can't do that.
Pass.
Dang it, I knew it was Roby.
Everybody has a brain
Done.
blip. Oh, that was it? That was a fast minute.
Roby,
One, two,
so
three.
we were actually
We might have
just-
got 5.
We were
but
talking about
7.
him
7's
yesterday,
the
and
record.
I don't know why I can never remember his
I know.
name. I have his face, but it's like the
I
name.
think what
I can't.
we're learning is that we all need... That's
Got
why
some
these
work to
cards
do.
exist. We all have. We've all been doing this too long, and the heat has
Yes.
warped our brains. We
Well,
can't
So what
remember
did
names.
little bit.
what did we get on this? We
We
didn't
got
get
5.
Lonnie. We got
or
5.
no, we only got 4. That was a pass.
Oh.
7.
That
7's
was
the
a
record.
fast minute.
Minute doesn't lie.
Doesn't lie. Clock doesn't lie. Well, we hope you guys enjoyed another new game segment, whatever you want to call it, on NewOrleans.Football. We're going to try and bring these in as we gear up to training camp. Thanks again for joining the show. We'll see you next time.